What is up, my fellow HHN obsessees, and welcome to the HHN Obsession Podcast, where we talk about all things HHN and obsess together over this amazing event. I am your host, JJ. With me, I have my co-host, James.
James! What do you think of that? Is that...
I think you just blew everybody's eardrum out.
I tried something else. Maybe it backfired.
It's James.
It's James.
All right, it's that time of year. It is speculation time. It's official. Horror Night Nightmares has put out their first version of their speculation map for HHN33. And it's always so exciting when they finally do that. And I just love seeing how crazy the social medias get, how the forums get. Everyone is just going at it and just trying to guess what exactly is coming. The community lights up every time they post one of these things. So it really shows how much they kind of add to the quiet time of the year. So always appreciate these guys putting these out. It makes this time of year a lot of fun to kind of guess what's coming. Of course, these are not official. These are just rumors, speculated stuff. So everything we're going to be saying today is not official and could possibly not be coming. But they have a good reputation.
Yeah, It's been a quiet place lately, but now we got this.
Oh, spoilers, James. Spoilers.
Well, only if you say spoilers. You gave it credit. You gave it some credit.
To be fair, we already talked about The Quiet Place in our previous episode, so
yeah.
If they jumped an episode, then they're spoiling themselves.
You want a spoiler? They're working on a Looney Tunes version. They're calling it a quiet space, like Space Jam.
A Quiet Space back in action.
Yes, please. Back in action too.
Okay, I think we should just go ahead and just dive into this thing and start discussing it. The first thing I want to point out is locations. So, of course, we have the 5 sound stages. We have the Fast and Furious location. But on the other side of the park, we have what people have been talking about. We have 4 tent locations in that corner. We have sprung tents 1 through 4 that are on this map. Now we have the usual entrance over there by Fear Factor. We have the 2 entrances on the side of Men in Black. And then we have an entrance all the way by the new DreamWorks land. If these areas are true, get ready for feet pain, James. Let's just say that. Be ready for the feet pain.
I got to train. Got to get me some Hodoks. Or what do you call them? The Hodors, those shoes you had. Hold-ons. What are they? Yeah. So I was close. Focus on the Hocus.
There's going to be a lot of walking involved if this is true. To be fair, the previous version 1 of the speculation map from last year, the locations weren't all correct. So, they could be different from what they're actually going to be. But it's very possible we could be seeing this and we could be walking a lot back to those tents.
It's called Heelys, bro.
Oh, you're going to bring those back? Like it's 2005?
No, I suck at Heelys. I need to practice.
All right, so there's those locations, of course, and then the scare zones are all unknown on the map, so we won't talk about those, but let's go into the shows. First thing I've noticed about the shows is there is no Lagoon show on this map.
If anyone was droning on about rumors, like, you can stop now. Well, actually, no, keep going. There's a lot of time. Thank you.
You're welcome. That was a good one, James. Good one.
I think it was, but now we're still talking about it and I'm getting insecure.
Okay, but this does not mean that we're not getting this Lagoon show, but it kind of makes sense because they're still creating it, and if they happen to finally open it in the summer, they might not want to stop the one they just opened to, have a specific Horror Nights version of it at night. So that could be a reason we're not going to see it this year. Who knows?
It might still be in this picture. It's just under the water.
Good point.
The next spec map, it'll float to the top. We'll see it.
I do think that this event would really benefit from 3 shows. I mean, I think that would work a lot. So if we were to get this Lagoon show plus the other 2 that are on this map, it would work out great for crowds. Will it happen? No idea, but it would be very, very helpful to crowd control, I think.
Yeah, it makes sense. You get a lot of people stuck on one area for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Alleviates the traffic.
The next thing to note that is very, very interesting, that was almost the first thing that caught my eye when I saw this map. We have a new show location, and well, it's not technically new. This location was used in the early years of Horror Nights, stopped being used a while back. There is a rumored show going into the Animal Actors stage. And I think, again, that would be very helpful to the crowd control. It's not a very big theater. It's nowhere near as big as the Fear Factor Stadium where Nightmare Fuel goes. But I think it would still help. Now, my thing is this where the rumored comedy duo show is going? It's very possible this could be where it's going if it's an actual thing. However, on this map, there is a symbol and it's a castle. And next to the castle is also a film reel. Now, what Horror Night Nightmares has done is they put a film reel next to each location that is supposed to be an IP this year, or is rumored to be an IP this year. So there is a film reel saying this is an IP show. That could fit into the comedy duo thing, but when I saw this castle and the film reel, I kind of was like, I hope it's not what I think it is. It would still be fun. I haven't actually seen it, but for many years, the Rocky Horror Picture Show was a show at Halloween Horror Nights. Could that be making its return? Because it does take place at a castle.
That'd be entertaining. I mean, they got those live theater showings. Did you say you're hoping for not this, for not Rocky?
Yeah, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it because I haven't actually been able to see this show. I've seen the movie. The movie's great. It's a classic.
And you got that from a little castle rook symbol.
Yeah, only because that show was very common every year at Halloween Horror Nights, and it takes place at a castle. So that's where my mind went. And it's an IP.
Obviously, it's the smash hit Mortal Engines that just came out, not too long ago, about monster car cities and castles crashing into each other, Beyblade style. Obviously, this is Mortal Engines, and I
Yes, they're gonna fit all of that set into the Animal Actor stage.
just stick some wheels on some buildings.
Just have them crash into the stadium and show up on stage.
Dude, mayhem.
What's up, everyone? JJ here. Doc Brown gave me permission to jump in his DeLorean for a solo trip from the future to talk to you all about a certain update that happened right after we recorded in regards to the Animal Actors rumored show. Again, right after we recorded, a certain site posted on Twitter, I believe they're called Theme Park Zone, about them figuring out and decoding the castle symbol. And they have confirmed that the symbol is for none other than a Harold and Kumar comedy show that could possibly be coming to HHN. As I always say, these are rumors, these are not true. These are not true until it's proven by Universal. But it has been confirmed that that symbol is supposed to represent Harold and Kumar because of the first movie, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. Now, if this rumor is true, I am super stoked to be getting another comedy show back at HHN. I think that James and I have been pretty vocal about loving the last Bill and Ted show because that was the only one we saw, and not really being that into the Halloween Nightmare Fuel shows. Now, don't get me wrong, those shows are great. The performers are fantastic. We don't want to offend anybody, but they're just not our thing. I did mention this on the forums that, in my opinion, we haven't really seen a better show than Bill and Ted's Farewell Show. And I totally get it. I totally get that people got tired of Bill and Ted because it was there for 26 years. But the fact that it was our first time seeing it, we loved it personally. Like, it was so much fun. We saw it every night we were there. It was a blast. But the thing is, I haven't done that since because I think the repeatability is not there with these dance shows or with Halloween Nightmare Fuel, especially because these shows are very similar every year. Um, I would argue that this past year, although everybody was saying that it had a lot of different things, was still very similar. So, although Halloween Nightmare Fuel is awesome, they do a great job. They actually just won an award for best theme park show or best theme park Halloween show. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but they won this big award. So they absolutely deserve that, but it's just not really our cup of tea. And there's always going to be the hardcore fans of Halloween Nightmare Fuel, and they should have hardcore fans. But it just makes me so excited that there is a possibility that we could be getting a comedy show back at HHN. I really truly think that it needs it. However, I don't know how Harold and Kumar would go about if this is true. It's not really the same as Bill and Ted. It's more of a stoner kind of direction, I would say. Not really the same vibe, but who knows? This could be totally different from a Bill and Ted show. They could be going a totally different direction. Whatever they do, I have faith in the writing team. Again, I can't wait to figure out what's coming because this gets me so excited. And I would really like to know everybody else's thoughts on this. What do you guys think about this rumor? Are you guys excited as well for a comedy show to be coming back? Or was that not your cup of tea? Are you more of a Halloween Nightmare Fueled type of fan? Let us know. Either way, it's great that we are getting a second stage show. Hopefully, we'll get a Lagoon show as well, and all these will eat up the crowds. But yeah, that's just about it. Just wanted to jump on here and just give this quick update because I think it was important to have on the episode. I think I'm going to hop back in the DeLorean and heck, I think I'm going to go back to 2017. Check out the last Bill and Ted show. This got me kind of in the mood for it. So I'll see you guys later and enjoy the rest of the episode. Yeah. So the third show, or I guess not the third, the second show on this map is, of course, Halloween Nightmare Fuel. It's got to be because it's just a flame symbol at the Fear Factor Stadium. So, more than likely, we are seeing Halloween Nightmare Fuel return this year.
Well, you might, but I'm not.
Oh, so if there's a different version of this show, you're not going to go check it out? Not even
I don't know.
once?
It's still a break for my legs. I guess I'll see it. But if it's
Like,
if it's another Nightmare Fuel, I don't know. I guess they got a lot on their plate. They got stuff to do. They can like put their mind at ease with this show. I guess. I mean, it's already put together. It's just keep going. I guess.
they just have to change the story. Please change the story. Come up with something different. That's all we need. And I think it'll be better.
Or add a
Um,
narrator or a sidekick, something.
add something. It's got to be different because it's just the same thing every year. I feel like even if there's some small minor changes, but for me, if it's around the same thing, this is a one and done show. You watch it once, and I'm good for the season. That's just me, though.
When you say that, is that like a must? You must see it at least once, or
I think so, just because there could be something different and something entertaining. You never know. You never know if there's something that'd be worth seeing in the show. Because what if it is different? What if it's very different and it was worth seeing the entire thing again?
I suppose. is it a given though? Could that flame be anything other than, nightmare fuel? Fuel, I mean, once you light it on, it's on fire. But fuel, it's not inherently fire just because they got flames
It's a Metallica
everywhere.
show. It's a Metallica show. Give me
Hey, all
fuel, give
right,
me fire.
I'll watch that.
All right. So those are the shows that are possibly coming, or just the little hints that we got from HNN. Now let's move on to all the symbols that we have for the houses. So we're going to go ahead and do the old school way of just going around the park. And we are going to start with the first sound stage up there at the front. And all we got is Central and South America as the logo. And there's not a film reel, so this would be an original. They've done Chupacabra before. They've done Yeti. So what about like another urban legend from this part of the world? Right?
What's in there? Brazil. We got Brazil in there. We got Chile.
I
I
mean,
don't
that's
know.
still Mexico in there.
Yeah, Mexico's up there.
La Llorona.
Nah, that's just the little
They've done
tippy
that house
top
before.
Mexico. It wouldn't be
I
that they
mean,
got a whole other continent.
is La Llorona only based in Mexico? Could it be in
I don't know.
Chile or The legend of La Llorona is traditionally told throughout Mexico, Central America, and northern South America. But that's my guess. I don't know if you have any other ideas for this,
That's a decent
Central
guess, though.
America. Yeah.
That's pretty decent.
Anyway, if that comes to Horror Nights, I'd be all about it. I think it's a very scary concept. I think they have done an original house before, but that has never stopped them from making another edition of it, like Yeti. So, oh wait! Hold on. I have just discovered something on Twitter. I have been seeing a lot of people mentioning this monstruos. I have no idea how to pronounce this, but I didn't understand what that was for this Latin American symbol. But somebody just posted the logo of it from Hollywood. So this was apparently a Hollywood original haunted house that they did. Let me see this. It's called Monstros, the Monsters of Latin America.
So Hollywood gave it a shot, and here it's coming to be perfected.
Oh, ouch. Ouch.
I'm just kidding.
You're kind of right. You're kind of right. Sorry, Hollywood. So this house was from last year, from 2023. So this kind of makes sense. This could be what we're getting. Hollywood is handing over their original idea to Orlando. I'm looking it up now, and it says that it actually won House of the Year last year.
Dang.
Let's see here. It says, with La Muerte as your guide, try to survive the night with 3 terrifying legends. Ooh. I don't know how to pronounce this. I'm sorry. It's Tia Lopici, the La Lechuza, and El Selbon.
Ooh, Lechusa's a good one.
So those are 3 Latin America legends that were in that house at Hollywood last year. James and I both know what the La Lechuza is. That is something that our grandparents scared us with as a kid, I'm sure. Basically, it's a half human, half owl creature that gets summoned by a witch to go after somebody.
Yeah.
So I'm reading this off of the Halloween Horror Nights wiki. It says the facade was the outside of the Cemetery of the Lost, a 2-story mausoleum with candles lit and many different trinkets and mementos and frames on the facade. Muerte can be seen digging a grave in front of the facade as he begins to narrate to guests as they go by and enter into the house. That sounds like a freaking awesome idea. This sounds so cool. I'm kind of thinking kind of a redemption for the Chupacabra house, because that house didn't really do it for me. But if they can make the setting very well and mix it with Graveyard Games, which was a house we didn't get to see, but I saw lots of videos on it, if they can mix that with like the candles and the Hispanic Mexican heritage, Latin American heritage, have these very scary monsters, this could be a really fun original house.
Muerte. I suck at rolling R's. Muerte. Muerte. There,
I
pretty
am
good.
going to take this time to look up what the heck a Dia Huelapichi is.
It's probably more south. You know, they're talking about all the South America.
Belief in the bloodsucker Thialapuichi is prominent in the Mexican state of Tlaxcala, deep roots amongst the indigenous Nahua culture of the region. I'm sorry, I'm butchering names, but it's some kind of vampire bloodsucker.
Oh, okay. It's pretty
So
good.
we talked about that. We talked about the lechuza, and there's also El Silabon.
Cinnabon? Cinnabon?
Yes, this house is sponsored by Cinnabon.
Hell yes. Finally.
El Silabon, the Whistler, is a legendary figure in Colombia and Venezuela, associated especially with Los Llanos region, usually described as a lost soul. The legend arose in the middle of the 19th century. Another more disturbing version states the son was a spoiled brat whose parents catered to every wish. One afternoon, he demands his father hunt for a deer, his favorite meat. But when the father does not find a deer and returns empty-handed, his son kills him and cuts out his heart and liver. He then has his mother cook them for dinner. The mother, finding this meat is tough, starts to suspect something is amiss. She discovers these organs are her own husband's innards and curses her son for eternity. Afterwards, his grandfather ordered the youth to be tied to a post in the middle of the countryside and lashed him until his back was destroyed. His wounds were then cleaned with alcohol, chili peppers, and lemon juice. A sack full of his father's remains was placed on his wounded back, and he was released with his grandfather's two rabid, starving dogs set upon him. Before releasing him, his grandfather condemned him to carry the bones of his father for all eternity.
So he survived the dog mauling.
So that is why he's the Whistler. It has a characteristic whistle that resembles the musical notes C, D, E, F, G, A, and B in that order, rising in tone to F, then lowering to B. It is said that when the whistling sounds close, there is no danger, and the whistler is far away. But when the whistling sounds distant, it means it's nearby. It is also said that hearing the whistling foretells one's own death, and one may hear it anywhere at any time. In this situation, the only thing that can save the victim is the sound of a dog barking, as it is the only thing it is afraid of. A chili or a whip. The spirit tends to take revenge on womanizers.
How does it kill? With the whips and stuff? But it's a ghost, right? I'm picturing someone on their deathbed. They're like 99 or something. What if then they hear the whistle? Does he still murder you, or he's like, you're on your way out? I haven't heard of that one. That's cool.
Many
Very
inhabitants of
interesting.
Los Llanos say that they have seen it primarily in the summer, a time when the Venezuela savanna burns in the harsh drought. The whistler sits in the trees and gathers dust in his hands, but it is mainly on rainy or humid days that the spirit wanders, hungry for death and eager to punish drunkards, womanizers, or sometimes innocent victims. It is said that it sucks the alcohol out of drunkards through their navel when it finds them alone, and then it tears womanizers to pieces, removes their bones, and puts them in the sack where it keeps the remains of his father.
Dude, have fun with your alcohol infused stomach acid. That doesn't sound very good.
Some versions say it appears as a giant of about 6 meters that moves about the treetops, creaking and emitting its chilling whistle. Inside its old and tattered sack lie the bones of his father, and according to some renditions, its multiple victims. Other versions say he appears as the shadow of a tall, thin man with a hat and goes after drunkards most of all. They say that the whistler can appear by a house on certain nights, drop his sack on the ground, and count the bones one by one. If one hears it, nothing will happen, but if someone does hear it before dawn, one person in your home will die.
You know, lucky for him, he could whistle before he was killed and immortalized as some kind of Punisher ghost guy. Because if it was me, all you'd be hearing is. That's the best I got. Can't whistle. I'm trying as hard as I can.
You're not convincing
Can't.
Universal to hire you for this part, James.
I could lie on the resume, but then I'm screwed when I get there. They're like, whistle.
Yeah. If this is correct, I am excited. I think between this and Nightmare on Elm Street, I am ecstatic for. This is a great idea. I know Universal Orlando will kill it at this idea. You know, Latin America ghost stories are terrifying. Horror Nights is known from taking an urban legend and they can create it they can make a terrifying version of it. So I have faith that if this is coming, it's going to be one of the scarier houses of this year. Let's manifest this. I want
Looking
this to
forward to
come.
it.
This is one that I really want to be there.
Monstruos. Struos.
All right, let's move on. Next up on the map is supposedly an IP, and it's just a skull with fangs. Before I say anything, what do you think this could be, James?
I'm getting Yeti vibes. I don't know. Maybe that's, or like, could be vampire.
Ooh.
It's not vampire. That does not read vampire. It looks like, I don't know. I'm feeling Yeti something. Like maybe Revenge of the Yeti. These are all the fallen Yetis. Oh, it's a movie, right? It's an IP. Ah, dang. Okay.
My automatic guess is what you think it's not. It is a vampire, and it's the Universal Monsters Dracula rumor that we heard about.
Oh, duh.
Now, I saw somebody mention this on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh man, if it's that, that'd be so fun." But I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be. But
Spill.
the Voyage of Demeter would be so fun.
Ooh.
if it came to Horror Nights, which it's still
Wow.
Dracula. It's still a
Yeah.
Dracula movie, but man, that would be fun. I'm thinking like Dead
Mhm.
Man's Pier vibes, but with Dracula. Like very pretty sets on a ship and in the ocean.
Dude, you can't tell what's a sail and what's a wing. Nice.
It could be straight up Universal Monsters, or it could be something fun, or it could be something more fun like Voyage of Demeter, Lost Boys. That's something people have always wanted to come to Horror Nights. I don't think it'd work very well. Probably work more as a scare zone, but um, I'm just throwing stuff out there at this point. But more than likely, this is the Universal Monsters Dracula rumor. Next up is a Cadillac symbol. Easy peasy. That is the Ghostbusters rumor that we've been hearing. The Ecto 1 was a Cadillac. There you
Yes.
go.
The
And
hearse.
just last night, there was a rumor going around social media that people had been hearing that the Ghostbusters house that's coming this year is not going to be the new film. It is going to be a combined house of parts 1 and 2 of Ghostbusters. And it would coincide with the 40th anniversary for part 1 and the 30th anniversary for part 2.
I like a combo house. I like the when they mush sequels. I like it.
So people are complaining that Ghostbusters was at the event at 29, which was the year we didn't get to go, and they're complaining that it's already coming back. I mean, we didn't get to see it, so I'm excited for it either way. But I think this house would do a lot better with the combined factor of the two movies. There's so much stuff that goes on in part 1, and I think part 2 is a lot more horror stuff that they could use for the house. So I think it'll work in its favor if this rumor is true that they're going to be using both the movies. As far as is Ghostbusters actually coming this year, my guess, it's 95% coming. I think there's a really good chance. There's just too much traction that this rumor has. There's just too much talk, too much steam. I think it is coming. And I think this is going to be the first announced house. And more than likely, they will announce this house when Frozen Empire releases in 2 weeks. It only makes sense. That's what's going to happen. And that's probably a reason that Horror Night Nightmares wanted to get their first spec map out before that happens. So
It'll be a hit no matter what. Ghostbusters, and yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I love Ghostbusters. I'm glad they survived after the female Ghostbusters, and they came back strong.
can you imagine the backlash that would happen if Horror Nights did a haunted house off of that movie?
Dude, I almost prefer that. That would be. I want the chaos.
Ghostbusters 2016 coming to Halloween Horror Nights 33.
Oh man, I need the shirt.
The fourth soundstage house. This is one of the ones that I have no idea what to talk about with this one. This could literally be anything. It's another skull, and it's half black, half white. Black and white house.
Oh, that'd be sick. They've done. sort of stuff like that, right? The noir stuff from the comic that wasn't a house, but
Hmm.
um, and then the shadowy thing. What was it? We just
Wait,
talked about
hold
it
up.
in the.
Hold on. You're onto something.
All right,
What if it is that? What if it's that um
just straight up.
no,
Wow,
the house that we went through that was Boris Schuster. What was that house called? Case Files. That was like this backstory of Horror Nights that has been going around for a while. It's part of Horror Nights history. And not only that, in the tribute store last year, there was a black and white room that had the Boris Schuster logo in there. It was like raining in there. What if that's what this is? I mean, I don't know why it'd be a skull, but you immediately like clicked something in my mind when you said that one time. I was like, wait a minute, maybe it is that.
you think it? Does it look like it?
I mean,
Because
I don't know how the skull would go with that, but maybe it's just to throw us off. Maybe it's just the black and white part is the clue.
yeah,
And the fact that it's right beside where the tribute store was or is
there's something there.
last year was maybe hinting at something they wanted to bring this year. Another Boris Schuster Case Files house, sequel house. I thought that house was okay at HHN30. It was toward the bottom of my list, and I think it was with yours as well. And I think that's just because we didn't really know the backstory too well. So it didn't really resonate with us, although it was a very popular house amongst all the really hardcore fans.
It's almost gesture like too, if you think about it. I mean, it's just maybe just in the eyes. I don't know, in the half and half.
He's like, please figure me out.
You don't recognize me?
Totally.
You remember me, don't you?
This is all I can really say about it. There's not much more I can think of. It's an original. It's not an IP. It doesn't have the film reel by it, so there's only so much we can guess on with just this symbol. Icon number 5, located at Soundstage 24B, is another original, and it's just a lollipop. My guess for this is something you didn't get to see, James. This was at HHN31. It was a scare zone called Sweet Revenge.
I had a guess for that one, and it was very different.
We talked about this on the episode back when we were discussing all the 31 stuff, and it was a scare zone that was tied into the tribute store. How like this the mayor of this town, it was like explaining his backstory of how he built this theater, and then like his parents were murdered, and then he wanted to get revenge off of the town, so he decided to have this big Halloween festival, give the town this basically poison candy, and everyone basically started dying, if I remember correctly. But it was a very fun scare zone. I think it was my favorite that year. It was in the New York zone. Very Halloweeny, great Halloween vibe. If I think it would work as a haunted house, and Horror Nights is no stranger to creating a scare zone and then taking the scare zone and making it a haunted house. They did that with Trick or Treat. They did that with Killer Clowns from Outer Space. They did that with Dead Man's Pier. There might even be another one or two that they did as well. So if they were to turn a scare zone into a haunted house, this wouldn't be the first time. So this could very well be what this is, and I'd be all for it. Sweet Revenge. Let's go.
I had a very different guess.
Okay, what are you thinking?
Well, it kind of looks like a magnifying glass with a spiral. I don't. It's a long shot, but I was thinking spiral from like the Saw franchise.
Huh. I guess that wouldn't be. Oh, but it's an original though.
Ah, never mind. I just want Chris Rock in a scare zone. I mean, a scary house.
Man, that was a good guess. I wish there was an IP there because I was like for a split second I was like, oh, that would be really cool. But I enjoyed Spiral more than a lot of people did. I think a lot of people didn't like it as much, but I thought Chris Rock did great in that movie.
Yeah, it was cool.
And I'm not a huge fan of the Saw franchise, and I think I had more fun with that one than the other films. Okay, so we'll just move on from that one and go to the next one, which it just says unknown IP, so there's not really much to talk about it. It's in the Fast and Furious queue, so it's the only IP that Horror Night Nightmares doesn't know about. Could they put another Blumhouse house into this location? Let's just say Blumhouse was going to make a return to the event, and it's going to be going here in this unknown IP location. Do you have any guesses as to what Blumhouse would be if it was coming? Like if they did a mix house, a mix mash house, mashup house of Blumhouse, or just a standalone Blumhouse movie. What would you want to see?
You go first.
Oh, so you don't know any Blumhouse movies?
I do. Um, but if it's like when you put someone on the street and you say name a woman, and it's like you can't. I'm trying to think of the. I'm blanking on the. I don't know.
So of course everyone wants Five Nights at Freddy's, but apparently that's not coming. So
Yeah, I don't even want it anymore.
something that just hit theaters that's part of Blumhouse is Imaginary, which basically looked like Ted, the horror movie.
Yeah, actually, I mean, yeah, I was thinking it looks like what are they calling it? The If movie. It's like
Yeah.
it's happening at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Uh,
that's a
even
that's a
even
bad mix up.
Jason Blum threw a tweet at Ryan Reynolds and like said something about it.
Wow,
What about Night Swim? Just a whole house based off of a haunted pool. We'd be swimming in the house.
dude, a swim through house like a lazy river.
We just decoded why they're closing Fast and Furious for the Horror Night season. They got to flood it so so we can swim through it.
Dude, finally using it to its full potential. Just filling it with water.
You heard it here, folks. Night Swim is the unannounced IP coming to the Fast and Furious queue.
The world's first lazy river haunted house.
Okay, so moving on from that one, real quick, I just like to mention that the Death Eaters are on the map, so that's probably a given. They'll probably be back every year. Next up, right beside the Fear Factor Stadium and Men in Black, which is going to be Sprung Tent 3, one of the new Sprung tents, and that is a sound symbol with a cancel symbol over it. So it says no sound, and I that's an easy one because it's got a film reel by it. It's A Quiet Place, the rumored Quiet Place house has made it onto the HNN map, further pushing that rumor that A Quiet Place is
Yeah,
coming.
looks like a given, and I hope so because I'm looking forward to it. It'd be nice to take a reprieve from all the loud houses, go through this one in dead silence. Yes, just zero sounds at all.
Do you remember at HHN30 going through the Haunting of Hill House? There was one
Yeah,
specific room that was black and it was like soundproof. They quietened the room and all you could hear was the voices like right in your ears.
yeah, that was
Do you
cool.
remember that?
Yeah, and they, as you walked by, it wasn't like they were in one place and you walked by and there's another, you know, mount or whatever. It was like moving as you moved. It was like wispy.
Yes, it was amazing. Imagine if they used that technology for the entire house of A Quiet Place.
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine that.
I mean, it could be that, or it could just be the new movie, which is a prequel where nobody knew to be quiet, so it's going to be loud. Because the whole movie is called Day One, so people are just figuring out what these monsters are.
Everyone's gonna be gone by the time it starts to dawn on them. Like, oh, we should. But that's the trick. Everyone's hiding and stuff, and then they're face to face with one, and they're still quiet. And it's like, oh, that worked.
My only concern with this coming to the event or being a haunted house is the monsters. How are they going to recreate those gigantic things in a house? I mean, maybe they have a plan. Maybe I don't know. Maybe there's an idea for them to pull it off. They've done crazy stuff before. But also, let's think about this. This is going into one of the tents. However, apparently this is one of the new tents and it's going to be just a little bit bigger than the old tents. So, gives a little more space for it, but it's still a tent. Limited space.
Maybe they'll just scale them down. You saw the bloaters, they were pretty huge. That's huge enough. You don't need something massive. You just need something big enough to be huge. You don't need it like full scale. Or just the head, or poke it over the. They'll figure it out. They'll do good.
And of course, that is saying that the Quiet Place is coming. We don't know that. We don't even know if it's going into a sprung tent. You know, the previous maps they've gotten the location wrong, and it shows up in a soundstage. So I hope it does end up in a soundstage because it would add more room for the city environment or the forest fire environment.
That's funny. Soundstage. More like
yeah.
Wait. More like no sound stage. Oh yeah. That's alright, that's pretty good. I was expecting some thunderous something, but alright. I'll take what I get. Hey, alright.
Oh, is it playing now?
Dude, thank you, people. Oh my gosh. It's too nice. Okay, alright. Okay. That was pretty good. Alright. They like me.
They really like you. They really do.
They're still going. They're whispering. All right. I like that. I like that one. I need that ringtone.
I couldn't hear it the whole time. Is it still going?
It stopped.
Okay.
You didn't hear it at all? You were just hearing me?
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. You're just hearing me accept the love.
All right. Going down the line. Just going down the street past Men in Black. Right there by its bathrooms. We got an unknown original. Nothing to talk about there except there's an unknown original coming to the Sprung Tent 2, which is one of the original, it's one of the old tents. Unless you wanted to say something about it, we'll just move on from that one, James.
Oh, the naked one?
Yeah.
The nothing?
The naked original, yes.
Where's it at? Sprung Tent 2? I'm going to say Shrek House.
Shrek.
Every
Shrek
podcast
original?
I have to. Oh, crap. You got me.
Again.
Oh, no. Never mind.
It literally says unknown original.
Well, in Shrek 4, I will have you know, no one knew Shrek. He went to another place and they didn't know him. He was unknown. No, I don't have a guess. I'm sorry. Let's talk about Bullman.
All right. Next up, I have no idea what to talk about this one. It's in Sprung Tent 1, which is right beside Sprung Tent 2, Men in Black bathroom area. And it's a Minotaur with like 2 arrows in front of it, like bow and arrows. What does that mean? What are they trying to hint at?
I could picture a Minotaur house. I could see that.
So all we got is a Minotaur symbol for an original house. There is no telling what that could be.
I got it.
Okay.
Massacre of the Minotaur. All right.
Is that going to be your guess for the name?
Yeah. Sounds good, right? It's pretty good.
Yeah. I swear, if you
If
got that name down to the T,
wow,
I will buy all your drinks.
Oh,
when we're at Horror Nights.
Sick.
If you got it down to the T, there's no way you have that.
If I got it, you have to tattoo it. Boom.
The Minotaur?
No, the title.
Oh, okay.
Or just that symbol. That's a tattoo.
What if the house is lame? I have to tattoo that on my...
Too bad. Yeah.
Okay. All right, you heard it here, folks. He doesn't want me paying for his drinks. He wants me to get a tattoo of this house if he got the name right.
Oh no, I meant both. I meant in addition.
That's too much. Come on. What do I get if you're wrong? Nothing.
Oh, if I'm wrong, you got to give me $20.
Oh, so it still benefits you.
Yeah, but you got off the hook from the other stuff. Hey, could they steal it? If they hear it from us, they're gonna steal my title.
I mean, they
Well,
can.
but that's good for me though, because then I get tattoos and drinks, so that's pretty good.
All right, moving on from what was the name of the house, James?
I forgot. I'm just kidding.
It,
Massacre of the Minotaur. No,
all
I
right.
can't forget that masterpiece. Come on.
Moving on from Massacre of the Minotaur,
Confirmed.
we are going confirmed. We are going to the final house, final clue on the map, and at first I couldn't figure out what this would be, and then it clicked. It's an IP, and it has to be a Nightmare on Elm Street for the moon
Ooh.
in
Ooh.
Sprung Tent 4. So I had already thought about this, and then I was going through Twitter, and the great folks over at HHN33 podcast posted that they actually noticed that that moon logo is from the Nightmare on Elm Street haunted house from 2007.
Oh man, they matched it.
They did. So that further confirms that this is meant to be a Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't think that means that that same house is going to be coming back. I just think that they're just saying this is a Nightmare on Elm Street. So they pulled a symbol from that 2007 house.
Imagine a DreamWorks compilation house. Kind of looks DreamWorksy. No, I'm hyped for the.
That's actually kind of funny because it's located in the DreamWorks land. That's where the entrance is going to be.
And they put the moon
I didn't
there.
even think about that. I didn't think about that. They put the moon where DreamWorks land is.
Dude, perfect. I'm gonna get a
Yeah.
2 for 2 on the predictions.
But this again further pushes the rumor of a Nightmare on Elm Street. I am going to be ecstatic if a Nightmare on Elm Street comes to the event. I have to see a haunted house based off that first film. I really want to see it. So Universal, please confirm this is happening. It needs to happen. Freddy Krueger needs to be back at the event. And it's going into the new Sprung Tent 4, so a little bit bigger than the OG ones. I'm cool with that. I think it'll work in there. Bring it on.
Well, that seems pretty locked down, right? It seems all but confirmed. If they match to a thing, and it's already been in talks, and it's the anniversary, right?
It is the 40th anniversary of Nightmare on Elm Street.
That looks like a given. Of all these houses, what do you think are like the most, legit?
For me, 100% Ghostbusters. It's there's too much traction. So for me, that one for sure is coming.
Mm-hmm.
I would put money down on that one. Nightmare on Elm Street, I don't know, man. I can't confirm enough. Like, yes, there's been talks, there's rumors circulating, and then it shows up on this map, but it's not as much as Ghostbusters. But I like the fact that it did make it on this map. It does give it a better chance that it is coming. So yeah, Ghostbusters, Quiet Place, and Nightmare on Elm Street are the ones that I'm more confident with, but Ghostbusters is the absolute one that has to be coming.
Because of the Cadillac hearse, and I guess online you've been hearing in forums.
Yeah, there's just too much talk happening. Too many people have been hearing about this. Apparently, Universal rebought the theme park rights to Ghostbusters. The new movie's coming out. With them buying the rights, there's also rumors that they're going to have a summer tribute store of just Ghostbusters during the summer.
I thought you were going to say a ride eventually.
Hey, if they're getting the theme park rights, that could be a thing. There could be a whole land based on Ghostbusters one day. Who knows? But the fact they bought those rights, apparently, is all good news. So
a whole land? I don't know about a whole land.
Well, a ride.
I see a ride.
Would be fun. People were saying that what if they were to replace Men in Black with a Ghostbusters shooter ride?
Huh. That's pretty easy. Yeah. Oh, but Men in Black, I love them.
I know, I love Men in Black, so those are just ideas that people were like, "Oh, what if this happens?" So hopefully
Yeah.
it won't. I'm locking my guess in. Ghostbusters is coming. I'm kind of 60-70% Nightmare on Elm Street is coming.
Okay.
Because there is a lot of stuff going on, a lot of talks with that too. So I'm crossing my fingers, hoping this is true, and we just have to wait and see. But my guess is we will get an official announcement very soon. It is usually in March, and we got the new movie releasing in March. So I think it's a given that we're going to be getting a house announcement, and it's going to be Ghostbusters. Well, that just about covers all of the brand new HNN speculation map version 1. I'm super excited. I hope that we were able to kind of cipher some of these at least, and we'll see what happens. It would be fun to come back and listen to this whenever everything's announced and see how much we got right, how much was just completely wrong. I don't know. It's fun. It's a fun time to do this. And I think they made it more fun by putting symbols only. Usually they actually will put a logo of a movie or something. This is just straight up like, oh, you have to guess. This is way more speculating than usual. So it makes it a little more fun, a little more interesting. So big thank you to Horror Night Nightmares for putting this out, giving the community something to talk about, giving us something to talk about. We appreciate all the hard work you do. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. Be on the lookout for that announcement. We will be making an episode once that happens. And we will catch you next time. But for now, James, who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters.
Freddy Krueger, you fool.
Ah.
You're damn right. Just wait a while, giving you the hip at your face now. Wait a while, giving you the hip at your face now. Wait a while, giving you the hip at your face now. Wait a while, giving you the hip at your face now. Wait a while.
Hey everyone, just wanted to give a quick shout out to my good friend Zach Weber, who provided our intro and outro song, Heebie Jeebies. You can listen to the full version of Heebie Jeebies on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, or anywhere where you listen to your favorite music. Thanks for listening.